Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 2 from MAHOU PreCure Mirai Days or Wichi PreCure Mirai Days. What an episode, what a series we are getting. This start is being gorgeous. But before we start talking about the episode itself, I want to talk about the new transformation and the new animations that we have. One for the Ruby transformation and another for the Ruby attack. And I am so happy that we are getting new animation transformations in Wichi Mirai Days. Oh my god, I'm very happy. And this transformation, the Ruby transformation, it felt so beautiful. I loved how intense it looked, while it also looked very passionate and kind of regal as well. I really loved this transformation so much. It was really pretty. And the fire with the petals, it just gives such a nice touch. Really incredible. Girl, oh my god, I was blown away with the transformation. I found it amazing. The attack, on the other hand, Ruby Passionale, it didn't really get me. I didn't love it. I found it kind of underwhelming. But if there's one thing I love in PreCure attacks is when the cures themselves become the beam. You know, they hit themselves in the monsters. And I love that. And I love that in this attack particularly. But girl, the transformation really got me. And now I'm even more excited for Sapphire, for Topaz specifically, which is my favorite form from them. Love it. And there's another thing that I want to point out before going into the actual events in order from this episode, which is there are two moments in this episode that both Mirai and Riko, it seems that like their minds are captured and they see a vision. They see a vision of the past. Mirai sees it at the start of the episode and Riko sees it at the end of the episode. When Mirai sees it, she sees a scene in her mind when she and Riko met and they were going to the magical world, and Mirai was going to the magical world for the first time. It was the start of Mirai's journey. It was the first step from Mirai's journey in the magical world. It was also the start of Mirai and Riko's relationship. So it was like, okay, the first step. And Riko's vision at the end of the episode is when Riko and Mirai are apart already and they cannot contact each other anymore because the magical world and the human world, they are divided now and they can't traverse them. And Riko is trying to find a way to reconnect both worlds. And it's interesting because the first vision is the start of the journey, and the last vision is the end of the journey. And I wonder if tearing them apart or separating the worlds again is what Isle is trying to do. We have no idea what he is planning, but I feel like those two visions in those very specific moments of the original season have a lot to do with what he is planning. So this makes me very, very curious. So now let's talk about the episode. The episode starts with Hisui, or the mysterious girl that has no name. And they see her, they think she is Hachan. And then Mofurun goes to her and say, Hachan, you're smaller now. And she's like, huh, what's going on? And they start asking her questions like, what's her name? And she doesn't know. Where does she live? She doesn't know. But there's only one thing she knows, that they have to be together. Her existence is very mysterious, and now I kind of feel like I have two theories on her existence right now. I will share them later. But so they decide to go to the magical world so that they can try to get answers as to who this girl is. And they also notice that Isle is after her, so they are going to try to protect her. And it's very cute that when they're going to the metro to go to the magical world, they hold her hand, and they both Mirai and Riko, they look so happy by having a little girl together with them. And it's just like Hachan was for them. It's just like their daughter, and they're like moms once more with this mysterious girl. When they get to the metro to take them to the magical world, there's a lot of nostalgia. A lot of nostalgia. We see the food truck that comes in. And one thing I love about the mysterious girl is that she is very different from Ha-chan. Her voice actor is the same, but she is completely different personality-wise. And I feel like Hayami Saori, who is her voice actor, is really able to showcase the different nuances of the characters with Hisui and Ha-chan. You know, the way she voices them is completely different. But there is one thing that is similar that Ha-chan did a lot and now Hisui does as well, which is the ha. I can't do it, but it's like ha. And Hisui does it just like Ha-chan. But I love that Hisui is completely different. Hisui has a stronger personality. She feels like it feels like the world revolves around her in her mind. She is egoistical. She is a different take on a child that PreCure doesn't really give us, at least when it comes to the main characters of a season. So it's really nice that we're having this with Hisui. She is the opposite of Ha-chan in this aspect. You know, she was holding Mofurun, and when she sees the food, she throws Mofurun in the window. She starts getting the food. She doesn't even ask for it. And, you know, Riko has to pay. And then, you know, she has her credit card, honey. And I wonder, do the teachers in the magical world get a good salary? Because in the human world, honey, teachers are... The existence of teachers is for them to suffer. Girl, it's not easy being a teacher, honey. All the teachers out there know what I mean. No matter where you are in the world, I feel like this is a universal experience. It's not easy, baby. And so they start talking about Ha-chan and they're like, oh, Ha-chan told us that she's going to be looking for us. But what's going on? Did you hear from her? And no one heard from her. But they wonder if she's actually looking for them. And now I wonder what she is doing, because we know that she was looking for them, but now what is she doing? She's become Cure Felice again. Where is Ha-chan? Hanami Kotokaha, Cure Felice, where are you? Mirai days do not disappoint me. And so when they get to the magical world, we see the headmaster again. Headmaster also sees the similarities between the little girl and Ha-chan, and when he sees the little girl, he asks her name, and they don't know what her name is. But there is one different thing between her and Kotoha, which is the hair color. This little girl hair color, this mysterious girl hair color, is the color of jade, or hisui in Japanese. And this little girl gets super happy with the comparison between her hair and jade, or hisui. And then we see her playing with Mofurun, and they talk about the possibility of an attack in 14 hours. And let me just say, this villain is already one of the smartest villains in PreCure, because he decided to tell them when the next attack is going to be. He did not follow it through. I mean, he kind of did, but he did not specify which type of attack it was going to be. And the time falls right into... after midnight, so it's like late in the night, honey. I would be sleeping. Magical girls can't even sleep anymore. And so it was very funny seeing Mofurun trying to count. I'm just like Mofurun when I'm trying to count something. Math is just not for me. And then they get to see Francois, and June is with them. I love the idea that June is now a fashionista, and she is helping Francois in the magical world, but she is studying fashion in the human world. So she goes back and forth. Really, really nice. And they were the ones who did the Mirai costume in the first episode that Riko was super angry about, and she was angry again. And they did another costume for Hisui. It's too big, but Francois creates a little butterfly for her. Girl, is this a Cure Butterfly reference? And Hisui was super happy, or the mysterious girl was super happy. And then they do a little different hairdo on her, and they ask her name. And the girls were like, oop. Girl, we brought her to the magical world. We brought her here. We're giving her new costumes. We're treating her super well, but we don't even know her name. honey. But then she herself finally gives herself an own name, Hisui. And it's very lovely that she got her hair and she used her hair kind of like a microphone. Is this a You and Idol PreCure reference? She used her hair like a microphone, and she was presenting herself to the world, but she was also showcasing the color that she is naming herself after. Really nice scene. I loved it, and it's another nice thing because Ha-chan, Hanami Kotoha, Hanami Ha-chan, and now Hisui Hi-chan. Another similarity between those two characters. Very, very cool. And then we see a little bit more on Hisui's personality. She is trying to get Riko's wand, and they can't share wands, and they teach her that. But then they get to the broom store. And the broom store is interesting for a couple of reasons. That scene is interesting for a couple of reasons. The first one is that Mirai she carves a wooden wand for Hisui, and she says that Hisui can't use actual magic with it, but if she wishes hard enough, the wish can come true. And the other thing is that the guy that I don't remember the name, he is ready, or he is going to be ready in the near future to retire. And he asks Mirai to be the one to inherit the store from him. And now I wonder if this is a possible future for Mirai after the season is over, if she is going to inherit that store and live in the magical world. Maybe. And then we have Io coordinating an attack. He is in the human world, but he coordinates an attack in the magical world. The worlds are connected, and when the attack starts happening there, we see the girls transforming, and they finally use the ruby form, and with a very beautiful transformation. We have an action scene that is not as good as the one that happened in the first episode. And let's just say that monster got the best of these girls very easy. And then when the monster was trying to get Hisui, because that's the goal, they're always trying to go after Hisui. And when he is trying to get her, Hisui uses the wooden wand to make it go away. And I just love how her personality shines in this moment. She's not this very kind girl. And I'm loving that on her. I'm loving this on her. And she is desperate, and obviously the cures go and save her. And I feel like there is one thing here that I like about the ruby form usage. Usually, the ruby form in the original Witchy is used when they need raw force, brute force. And that's what they use it for here. Because they get that big monster by the tail and they throw it and use Ruby Passionale. So I like it. Even though we know that at the end of the day, in the original, they didn't really use those forms for their specific usages, but they kind of had special things for each of them. So I kind of I like that a lot. And so after the defeat, Mirai stays in the magical world for that day, and they're all in the school, and they decide to do a little brigade to protect them, because we know that there is a possible attack at 4 a.m. And so Mirai is in the bedroom. The teachers are all like vigilantes, and they're going around seeing if there's something weird. They find nothing. But then, when in the promised time by Io, we have something huge happening with Mirai and something huge happening with Riko at the same time. We have the visions that I talked about at the start of the video, in which Mirai saw the moment they met, and Riko saw the moment, not the moment they met necessarily, but like the first moment of their friendship, and Riko saw when they were already apart and the worlds were not connected anymore. But then Mirai sees something else. Mirai sees both Cure Miracle and Cure Magical defeated using the Sapphire forms, and they also see the butterfly that was created by Francois for Hisui, all dirty and ragged up in the ground. And we also see Ayo. And Ayo is ready to get Hisui for him. And Ayo needs Hisui for something. And now I have the two theories on Hisui's creation. One is Hisui was created by Hachan, by Hanami Kotoha, by Mother Rapapa, new Mother Rapapa. And the second one is that Hisui was created by Ayo himself because for some reason he needed Miracle and Magical to connect again so that his plans are complete. So I have those two theories for now, but I really don't know what he's after. It's very hard to understand. But one thing that we know about him is that he can see the future. Is he controlling the future or is he just able to see it? Because he knew what was going to happen. He knew that Riko was going to go after Mirai and Mirai's wand was going to fall in the ground and he knew what Riko was going to say to Mirai. So what's really happening? Is he the one that controls Mirai's future or their future, or he just sees it and bases his actions based on what's going to happen in the future? I still don't know, but this story is really capturing me. It's really getting me hooked, and I am loving it so much. And next week, they're probably going to use the Sapphire forms. Is the vision already happening in episode 3? Girl, I did not believe that Mirai Days would be this intense. Honey, I didn't know. And I am living for it. Are you guys enjoying Mirai Days? I know I am. I am having the time of my life. And I'm getting very tense as well. This story is making me tense. And where is Cure Felice? Toei Animation, do not play with our hearts. Cure Felice fans, rise up. We deserve Cure Felice. Hashtag justice for Cure Felice. Oh my goodness. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.